changing your life one story at a time. This is the Chicken Soup for the Soul podcast with Editor-in-Chief Amy Newmark.
Hey, it's Amy Newmark with your daily dose of Chicken Soup for the Soul inspiration. It's Tip Tuesday, and today we're going to talk about putting the together back in your relationship. How? By going on dates. And it just so happens that May is Date Your Mate month. Most of us go out on dates with our special person on Valentine's Day, on our birthdays, on our anniversaries. But despite our best intentions, we don't keep making the relationship special week in and week out. And fixing that can be as simple as having a date every week or even a date every month. Sometimes it just takes a little imagination to fit a regular date night into your busy schedule. So in Chicken Soup for the Soul, True Love, we had a whole chapter of stories about how couples keep the romance alive. And a big component of that strategy was regular dates. Stephanie Watts has a story in that book called Date Night, and she explains how she and her husband managed to spend time together, just the two of them, once a week. It happens on Wednesday nights when their kids have church choir practice. Stephanie makes a special effort to look nice, and she and her husband grab dinner while the kids are at choir practice, and they get to linger over coffee and chat and catch up on each other's lives. And sometimes they even have an extra half hour to go window shopping or go to the library together. Stephanie says the following: despite conflicts and commitments, I will do my best to continue dating my spouse. Although marriage may be made in heaven, I think its maintenance must be done here on earth. Now, sometimes it's impossible to arrange for a date night, but you can be creative. Another story in that book by David Martin is called Breakfast in a Movie, and David tells us that he and his wife gave up on date nights because they would always hire a babysitter, get dressed up, and then fall asleep during the movie. So once their daughter was in school, they turned it around. They would take a weekday off from work, they would go out for breakfast, and then they would head off to the local cinema for the first movie of the day. And after the movie was over, they would still have time before their daughter got out of school, and so they would go out for lunch or go to a bookstore or take a nap. And I thought that was a really cool idea. And here's another great idea, and this one is from our book called Chicken Soup for the Soul, Merry Christmas. Now, this story by Jane Thurber Smith is called The 12 Dates of Christmas. And this is a great gift idea that you might want to copy. Jane tells us that one Christmas she opened a gift from her husband, Peter, and she was a little confused because he had given her a wall calendar. And it had pretty mountain scenes on it, but it was a wall calendar. And he was grinning at her like a madman, like this was supposed to be something really, really good. And then he showed her why this was such a great gift. On each month, he had picked a significant day, and he had taped onto that day a gift card for a date. So in January, he had picked a day for them to go to Starbucks and have coffee and scones, and there was a gift card for Starbucks taped to that date. For February, there was a gift card for their favorite seafood restaurant, and it was taped to February 13th, which was the day when they always celebrated Valentine's Day because they didn't like going out on the actual Valentine's Day. And then for March, he had done something really thoughtful. He had taped a gift card for Jane's favorite Mexican restaurant to March 4th because that was their middle son's birthday. And Peter knew that Jane would be sad because this was going to be the first year that their son wasn't home to celebrate his birthday because he was away. So every single month of the year, Peter had picked out a significant date, taped a gift card to it. It was so thoughtful. It was really an amazing gift, a whole year of dates laid out, and each one was a reminder that Jane's husband cared about her and had thoughtfully planned something. So I think all three of these stories are wonderful reminders to keep dating the one we love, and they give you a lot of great ideas for how to do that. I'm Amy Newmark. Thank you for listening to the Chicken Soup for the Soul podcast today. You know, we're getting great word of mouth, record listenership every week. But of course, I work really hard on these podcasts, so I would like even more listeners. So please share the podcast with your friends and family. You can even go to our iTunes page and write a review. And tomorrow, I'll be back with you for Wow Wednesday. And we're going to talk about love again. But this time we're going to talk about an amazing coincidence that prepared a young military bride for the phone call that no one wants to receive. But don't worry, the story does have a happy ending. If you'd like to read more stories from the best-selling books I mentioned today, Chicken Soup for the Soul, True Love, and Chicken Soup for the Soul, Merry Christmas, please go to our website, chickensoup.com.